my name is Victor, and welcome to the very first edition of ITGS Bootcamp. Today's topic is hardware and software, the first unit of the ITGS curriculum. But before we get into the many specifics of technology and its effect on the modern world, we first have to understand the many pieces of this puzzle. Let's begin with the different kinds of computers. Computers have come a really long way from the bulky ancient units to the portable phones in your pockets. Let's talk about the computers we're more familiar with. Everyone probably knows what the acronym PC stands for. Personal computer, or computers intended for personal use. This includes tablets, smartphones, laptops, desktop computers, and although they're mostly obsolete, PDAs. You know, that one device with the stylus your dad was probably obsessed about for like a year before smartphones came out. The three kinds of computers people are less likely to know about are mainframe computers, supercomputers, and embedded systems. Mainframe computers are large units kept in refrigerated spaces. They are usually owned by companies to store and process a large quantity of trivial information. For instance, large airlines rely on mainframe computers to track and store information about flights and destinations. Supercomputers. And no, they are not alien beings sent to protect the Earth and humanity. Supercomputers are generally very large and are used to process and store very complex data. Think of the difference between a parrot and a human being. The parrot, like a mainframe computer, would be able to remember trivial information such as words, sentences, and expressions. However, he would not be capable of interpreting the meaning behind these words or the commands which they carry. A human being, on the other hand, much like a supercomputer, would be able to do so. Lastly, embedded systems are computers intended for a specific purpose or to carry out a specific task. Usually, embedded systems are the result of computerizing certain machines. A washing machine, for instance, has a built-in processor that allows it to interpret and perform the task instructed by the user. Now that we've looked at the different types of puzzles, how about we look at the different pieces? Most people usually imagine a computer to consist of four parts: the monitor, the mouse, the keyboard, and that one big box thing. Well, it turns out it's a lot more complicated than that. For starters, the big box thing is called a computer tower, and it is comprised of several more devices that allow a computer to function. If you break it down one stage, you'll be left with a flat platform called the motherboard. The motherboard, as its name clearly indicates, connects even smaller components of the computer and ensures they function appropriately. First comes the power supply unit, which provides the computer with the power it needs to run. Then comes the CPU. It serves as the brain of the computer, and it is in charge of interpreting and processing data and commands. Next comes the secondary storage unit, composed of the hard disk, which is essentially where most data is stored, and external units such as USB drives and optical disk drives. These essentially allow information to be stored in external storage devices such as flash drives, CDs, and DVDs. The motherboard is also comprised of two primary storage units, ROM and RAM. ROM is responsible for storing small amounts of data and information. Its purpose is to essentially store the boot-up system. RAM, on the other hand, is in charge of storing temporary memory. For instance, when you're running a game or a program on your computer, RAM memory is in charge of storing that information until it is closed. Well, this is pretty much it. I have, of course, left out a few specific details about each component of the computer, but we, here at ITGS Bootcamp, are providing you with a set of infographics that more thoroughly explore each item. And you can check out the link to those below. I hope you enjoyed this first episode, and see you next time when Amanda talks about bits and bytes.